Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shalom, to all the brothers, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Thom Bashim, shout out all the sisters. I is from City, Minnesota, with the actual Lashawan Qadash. Today, pretty much, we are still going over Psalms 121. We still just have a little bit more that we can go over, and we are going to be done. And then we are going to actually move on to something else. Um, as always, we always go back to pretty much how we use the words, the Hebrew words, vocab words, and just pretty much put it into a sentence so that way people can understand how to use it and what usage it may have so that way they can understand. Because every language, you have a strategy or method in order to show pretty much how you can use a word, all right? And just like any word, one word may have many definitions, or one word may have one definition. And that's what we show in Lashawan Qadash and IS created Minnesota, all right? So once again, this is Psalms 121. All right, this is the entire prayer, except for we gotta make sure that we get a little bit more, all right, the rest of it. So far, we have been studying this for about 2 to 3 weeks. And so we are going to get the rest down pat, and we are going to tap on it as well, okay? So, with that being said, let's get to it, all right? So let's recap right now. For Psalms 121, we have Asha'ah, which is I. Sha'ah is lift. And also, too, how you're seeing this right now is exactly how it looks in the actual prayers that we read in every class. So, Asha'ah, being I as a prefix, Sha'ah suffix is going to be a lift. All right, so I lift. Ayanya, which is going to be Ayan, I, as in your actual I. Ya is going to be a suffix as in my. All unto. Paharium, the hub by itself is going to be the, or the. Harium is going to be hills or mountains. Mayan, ma is from. Ayan is going to be word. All right. Yaba'a, ya, he, by itself. And ba'a, come. And also, so everything is right to left, not left to right, if you are confused. Azar, ya. Izar, ya. Izar by itself is help. Ya is my. Izar, help. So my help. Izar, ya, once again, because it says it twice in the actual prayers. So my help, my young. From. Now, if you're asking the question, if you're thinking about it, as right now, why is that ma is the ma's right here? It says from, and the I'm is together, and it still says from, because based on how you place a word, the word can change or it can stay the same. Okay, that's what you want to understand. If you have studied enough Lashawan Qadash classes, you will know that. All right, that's another topic. That's another class that we will actually go into. Okay. Also, too, Salatu. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Thom Bashim Hashad, to the sister, Tanisha, and also to Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Thom Bashim Hashad, to the sister Anawa. I appreciate you guys coming in, joining in. All right. Also, too, if you guys missed this within the last 2 weeks, go ahead and feel free to look back at the classes, on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, if you're on those social medias, to actually look back on this, because we have been going on. We have pretty much been breaking this down for about 2-3 weeks. I would say 3 weeks on our platform. So go ahead and look back and see what we have went over, which is all of this for the past 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and learn something. All right. So in the prayers that we read in the ISBK, what you are going to see is Isaiah twice. All right, I am. So I'm right. I am, which is the I and the M together is I'm. That's a separate word by itself. We went over that as far as a vocab Hebrew word. All right. If you did not see that, if you do not know that, we have videos posted on our YouTube and Facebook about that. All right. So we have, so far we have I lift my eye unto the hills, from where he come, my help from. Now we go to the next one, which is Yahweh. We have the Yah, the Huh, the Wah, and the Huh. Yahweh, which is the Most High or the Lord's name. From the Most High, Asha. If you want to say it fast, it's Asha or Asha. Asha. Made Shemayim. You have the Sh, the Ma, the Ya, and the Ma. Again, anytime there's a parenthesis, or for example, I'll give you an example once again. One second. All right, so let me try to find the placement for it. Okay, so let's focus in the middle right here. All right, let's focus in the middle. So if you see this, that's called an open parenthesis. Okay. Now let's erase it. It's called an open parenthesis. Make sure that you remember that. This is called a closed parenthesis, which means that something is connected. One letter is connected on this tip to the other tip. All right. So let's erase that. And let's get back to it. So, all right. Aisha or Aisha Salatu name, otherwise Shemayim. We have the Sh, which is by itself, because there is what is called a open parenthesis, which is like this. Then we have Ma, which is by itself, which is like this. Now we have the Ya and the Ma, which is like this. Okay? So, Shemayim. Shemayim. Now the Sh by itself means like, as like unto, for example. As like unto is the actual example. Otherwise, Mayim is water or heaven. And in this context, it's going to be heaven based on Psalms 121 with the prayers. All right? Okay, so moving forward. Now, what we have next is Wa Aratazah. Wa Aratazah. Wa by itself is going to be a prefix, which means and. Aratazah is going to be its actual word, which is earth or heaven. Now, Aratazah really means earth, country, or land. But based on the context, earth or heaven. Once again, that's going to be another class that we can actually get into. So we can actually further explain it, all right? So, moving forward. Unto, Yathan, allow, the Ya, the Th, and the Na, which is connected. So, the Ya is by itself, the Th and the Na is connected. Got the Ya by itself, which is YA, and the THA is supposed to be by itself, but it's connected to the Na. The only thing that you don't see is the A with the Na. All right? So it's going to be Yathan instead of Yathana. All right? Next word. You have the La by itself. The Ma is by itself. By itself. The Wa and the Ta is together. Lamawat is how you will pronounce it. The love by itself is going to be two. Mawat is going to be moved. So, for example, anytime that we say La Yasha'Allah for Sabbath service, which is going to be tomorrow, you hold up, your drink. So, for example, right? I got my water right here. So, the person says sorry. You turn, you salute, and you turn again, facing everybody else, and you raise it up, La Yasha'Allah, and you drink. There you go, okay? That's how you do it. All right? So, La means two, and when you say La Yasha'Allah, you are saluting the actual people. What people? It's going to be blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's what you're doing. All right? So, let's keep going. All right, Lamawat, which means to move. Now the next one, you got the Ra by itself. You got the Ga and the La together in the middle, but you got the Ka by itself. Now, you have the Ra, R-A by itself, Ra. Then you have the Ga and the La together, Gal, G-A-L, which is together. So the A drops off with the La because it's towards the ending of the word. All right, not the beginning. Then you have Ka, which is by itself, which is K-A. So your foot. Regal means foot, Ka means your as a suffix. All right. Now, this is where things change. And there's a reason why we have this right here. How you say it? A line. You have a line, to separate Regal, Ka, and all. Because as you see right here, all means unto, and all right here means never. It's based on context, okay? Every word is not going to look the same. And I'm not trying to compare the Hebrew to the actual English, but based on the context, things can change based on the word, all right? Always remember that. Always consider that, okay? Think about it all the time, all right? For example, my name is Officer Makabya, all right? Makabya, Makabya, all right? Now, I know a child, I know a brother in the school, and I know another brother in the school who has a similar name as mine, but there's just one letter difference. Based on that one letter difference with the Hebrew, right? Everything changes. The meaning and the name itself changes. Okay? My name means Lord's defense, but somebody else's name means horseman. One brother, a child name means she is my one. Meaning she keeps me warm. She's my one. All right. So just based on just a little adjustment of a letter can change the whole meaning of a word. All right. For example, once again, Shamar means watch, but if you put in Shawamar, that means I am watching. It changes the whole meaning. It's no longer a verb adjective. It's more of an action. I am watching. I'm watching you. It's an action. I'm watching you. The Shamar is I watch. That's what it means. Shamar means watch, but Shawamar, I am watching. It changes the whole meaning and dynamic of the word. All right. So let's keep going. All right. In this context will be meaning never. Yanawam, ya, it's going to be he. Nawam, it's going to be slumber or sleep. Shamar, ka. Shamar, ka. Shamar is watch. Ka is going to be your watch. All right. I want to see past it just a little bit. Give me 1 second. One second here. One second. And now it's going to be behold. Then we have la'ah. If you know about la'ah, which means no or not. Okay? Now, one thing I want to do, I'm going to change this up because that T looks different. All right. All right, here we go. That's better. So, la'ah means no or not. All right. We have wala'ah, that's the wa, the la, and the as you know, everything is by itself. Okay? Wala'ah. Was going to be in, la'ah is going to be no or not. The same as that one previously. Now, yashan, ya is going to be he, yashan is going to be deep sleep. It's very similar to slumber or sleep. But once again, it's different based on the placement of the words or the letters, so to speak. All right. So, shawamar, we use this as a example. Watching really should be I am watching, but for the placement of the words and just to shorten it, it's watching. Instead of saying shamar, which is watch, we're going to say watching as shawamar. All right. Okay. And if you can see this, let me know. If you cannot see it, let me know as well. So that way I can bring the camera closer so we can make sure that everybody is seeing what's on the screen. Okay? So, shawamar, watching. All right? As in, I am watching. The next one's going to be, you got the ya, the sha. So the ya is by itself, which is right here. The sha and the bruh is connected, which is shar. You got the sha and the bruh, which is shar by itself, or connected. You got the which is by itself. You got the la, which is by itself. So, ya as in he, shar, prince, Allah, power. All together, you got sha'ala, which is Israel, which gives you the Israelites. All right? Because Jacob's name was changed to Israel, which we became the Israelites through him, due to the fact that he had 4 wives. All right, Yasha'ala, which is Israel. So, next one is going to be Yahweh. You already know what Yahweh is, who he is, which is the Most High, and the Lord's name. Okay, that's how you break that down. You got the ya by itself, the ha by itself, the wa and the ha connected, Yahweh. The Most High abbreviated Lord's name or the Lord's name, that's going to be for that, which is Yahweh. Once again, Shamarka. You have the sha by itself, the ma and the ra together, and the ka by itself. Shamarka. Shamar is watch, ka is going to be your watch. Next one's going to be Tazalka. Tazah and Allah is connected. Tazah is by itself pretty much, down near. And the La, the A is cut off or eliminated. And the Ka is by itself. Tazalka, which means shade or dye shade. Okay? You have the I and the La. The A is canceled out with the la, so you have upon. Now it's connected to the next word, which is yad. The yad and a duh. So the A cancels out with the duh, so you have yad, or yad, hand. All right? Your actual hand. Next one's going to be yamyanka. So yamyan means right, but the ka in this context is going to be thy instead of your. All right? It's going to be thy instead of your, based on the context. It's no different than how I is never versus unto. All right? So thy right. Yam is always going to be right. Okay? Ka, on the other hand, is going to be thy or your. All right? One word can have many definitions. Okay? So let's keep going. Yawamam. So Yawam means day. All right? Yawam means day. But Yawamam also means day as well. So based on the context, once again, all right? The content, slightly. The context, it all depends. So Yawamam means day. Otherwise, Yawam means day as well. So that's simple. Really self-explanatory. Now we move on to the next one. Hashamash. Ha means the or the as a prefix. Shamash, son, as a suffix. Okay. La'a, once again, no or not. That's all that means. Yapaka, which means smite. So the word smite really means if you strike somebody or if you kill somebody. That's what that word means. All right, smite. It's just a biblical old word to say strike or kill somebody. All right. You'll see that all throughout the Old Testament, and I'll say a little bit in the New Testament. All right. So let me see. Give me 1 second. Hey, shalom, Lord Christ, to Brother Dwayne. All right. All right, so by a rock, you have the wa, by itself, the ya by itself, the ra and the ka is connected. So by a rock. That's why you don't see the 2 A's or a ka at the end, which means monk. The wa, the ya, and the ra and the ka, but without the A. Because when it's towards the ending of the word, something cancels out. Always. All right? Next word. We have the ba, by itself, the la, by itself, the ya, by itself, the la and the ha is connected. Balaya. All right? Balaya is how you say that. So the ba is by, B, Y, and layala is going to be night. Okay? For example, if you want to say good night, it would be tawab. Let me say tawab layala. Okay? Layala. So for example, you have tawab and layala, which is night. Tawab means good. Layala means night. You want to say good morning. It's tawab bawakwar. Bawakwar means morning. Tawab, once again, means good. Okay? So, moving forward. Once again, we have the Most High's name, which is Yahweh. The Most High, the Lord's name. Okay? We already went over that. Alright, so, next one. Ya is by itself. Sha is by itself. The ma and the ra is together. And the ka is actually by itself. Ya shamarka. So at first we had shamarka, but now we have the ya behind it. That's in front of it. Ya shamarka. So Yah means he in Hebrew as a prefix. Shamarta is keep or preserve or watch. As you see, it's starting to change a little bit based on what's in front, which is Yah, which means he. So he keep or preserve or watch. Okay? And you will understand it once you actually see the English of the actual prayer. You will actually start to see what the difference is. Next one is going to be ma by itself, the ka and the la. All right? The ka and the la is together, which we have ma by itself, which means from, and call. Call. Call means all, as in A-L-L. All right? Give me a second. Give me 1 second here. All right, so the next one's going to be ride, which is the R and the I connected together, and that's going to be evil. All right. Anytime they say ride, it's R-I, and also too that the A drops off the R, so that's going to be evil. Okay. All right. So ride, every time you hear that word, it's evil. All right. Based on the definition. Okay. So next one's going to be yeah. It's by itself, shut by itself. The mud and the rud is connected together. Yashamar. Yashamar, which means preserve. All right. Based on the context. There's also another definition of Yashamar and what that means. Now, so like A-H-T-H, which means you. Okay? You. Next one's going to be the posture. So the posh means soul, ka means thigh in this context. Next one's going to be the Most High's name. Once again, we are going to skip over that because we already know what the Most High name is. We don't want to say it again. All right? Out of respect for the Most High. Once again, Yashamar, preserve, same thing. Last one, just an Ath-ka. The I going out, to Za by itself, A by connected together, and Ka by itself. Okay? Now, let's move forward with the other ones. One second, slide. One second. All right, and what's second here? All right, so like, okay, so, all right. All right, on this one here. Okay, so, all right, so now we have 4 words, which are going to be the last. And before we get into that, give me 1 second here. All right, I got it now. Give me 1 second here. All right, so We have 4 words, and we are going to get into the last 4 words of Psalm 21. Hey, I also want to say shalom, Yahweh Shamar, God bless you, Shai, to my sisters, Kawa, and Princess Kawana. All right. Okay. So, we dealt with Taza'aka, which means God going out. All right. Now we're going to deal with the next ones, which is 4 left, and then we are actually going to get into some new Hebrew words. All right, that we are going to learn. Now, I will decide which words that we should study. Also, too, how much words we should study as well. So, just pay attention. Let's get to it, and it's going to be homework. All right. So, this word right here, "wa," you got "wa" by itself, "ba" by itself, "wa" them by itself, by itself, and "cut" by itself. So, this is what it looks like. You know what? The rules that I went correctly, no sweat, I send it up. That rules acting like ignorant, so we got the "wa." Boom. We got the "ba." We got the "wa" again. We got the ah. We got the "wa," the "ba," the "wa," and then we got the and then we got the "ka." Boom. Wawaka. That's how you pronounce it. Wa, ba, wa, ka. Wawaka. That's how you pronounce it. Now, what does it mean? How you are going to do it. Okay. One second. One second, somebody, I'm sorry. All right, somebody, 1 second here. All right, so. All right, so. All right. Okay, so, Wawawa is going to be coming. All right. Got it. All right. Give me a second. All right. So, Baba means coming, Ka means die, and now we have the next one. We have Ma by itself, I by itself, the and her connected, which is going to be time. So it's going to be M A M-A-I. So Ma and I and T-H-A-H. My thigh. That's how you would pronounce it. What does it mean? It means time. Time as in a clock, correct? Now, this word, you have the word and the I and the the. The word is by itself, the I and the is connected together. It's going to be W-A-I-N-D, as in for I. W-A-I-D, which is for I. Okay? Now, when you separate the two, all right, what is going to be N as in A and D? I is going to be even, ever four. Ever four. All right? 1 second. One second. All right, 1 second here. All right. The last word is going to be I by itself, what by itself, the love and the month is connected together to the I. So we have I, we have the one, we have the love and the month. It's going to be money. I will love. I will love. Right? I will love. Of course, which means evermore. So, all right, evermore. That's what it means. Okay. So let's go all the way over this in one more time. Also, too, this is actually the entire prayer of Psalms 121. And we are actually going to go over the entire thing once again. Okay? Alright, so let's get to it. In a second. Alright. Sha'ah means I. Alright. Sha'ah means lift. SHAAH. Lift. Ayanya, which is my eye. Ayan means eye, as in your actual eye. Okay? As in your actual eye. Okay? Ya means my, as in my possession. Means unto, which is the and the love connect together. The Harden, the hub is we or the. Harden is hills or mountains. Well, in this case, it's going to be hills. Ma'ayan, the ma is going to be from as a prefix. Suffix is going to be a yan word. Now, you have a ya means he as a prefix. The come is a suffix for ba'a. Okay? Izar, ya. Izar means hope. Ya means my. So my hope. Izar, ya. Izar, ya. And we have some brothers who names Itazar or Itazarian, something like that. Okay? Or you have a sister in Minnesota, her name is Izaria. Izaria. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Izara, sorry. Izara. So you have Izaria, which might help. Otherwise you have Izara, which is the ra. Okay? Alright, so that's the I, the Z, and the R and the H connected together, Izara. Alright? In this case, you have Izaria, my. And it says it 2 times, which is very important in the actual prayer. Mayam. I am is actually a word by itself, but with the ma connected to the ma'an, which means from, it kind of changed the word. Yahweh, the Most High, the Lord's prayer. The Most High, the Lord's name. So I put that Aisha, name. Okay? Something that's actually name. Alright? Shemai. Life, as in Shem, Mayam, water or heaven. Okay? So, Wa Rakaza, the word is and as a prefix. Rakaza is a whole word, earth or heaven in this context. Otherwise, it's earth, land, or country. Unto, connected to it is going to be your thumb, which is allow, meaning as you allow something. Lamawat, la is going to be two, as in, la yasha'ala, when we salute brothers and sisters within our nation, which is going to be the 12 tribes of Israel. Mawat is going to be me. Regal is foot, ka is going to be your, as in this context, your foot. Al is going to be different as far as the context of the word, never. Then a woman, ya is going to be he, slumber is going to be in a woman, or sleep. Because sleep and slumber can mean the same thing based on the context. All right? Shamarka. Shamar is watch, ka is going to be your. All right, or your. However you want to say it. Hana, behold. La'a is going to be no or not. Okay? 1 second here. All right. 1 second. All right. Well, la'a. So what means in? La'a means no or not. Okay. All right. No or not. Ya yashan. Ya is C as a prefix. Yashan is going to most likely be a suffix. Deep sleep. Shawamar. Watching. Instead of saying shamar as in watch, shawamar is an action word, which means I am watching. Yasha'ala. Ya is going to be he. Shah is going to be prince. Allah is going to be power. Altogether, Yasha'ala, Israel. Okay? Yahweh. The Most High, Lord's name. Simple, very self-explanatory, because we always go through this. Shamarka. Shamar is watch. Ka is your watch. Tazalka. Tazal means shade. Ka means thy, so thy shade. All right? Once again, this whole prayer is about the Most High watching over you and protecting you, just like the Lord's Prayer. Al for Al, Pan, Yad, which means hand, your actual hand. Okay, your actual hand. Yamyanka, Yamyanka. Yamyan means right, and Ka means thy, so thy rights. Then a woman, which means they. It's more of a action because your one means they. The actual word means they, your one. But then a one is going to be an action word, which is different. Hashamash. Ha means the or they, or sorry, the or the. That's going to be the prefix. Now, as far as the suffix, son, for shamash. La'a, no or not, once again. Yakaka, smite, which means to strike or to kill. To kill. Okay? Wairaq, which means moon. Balayala, ba means by. Layala means night. Tawalaya, you say fast. Tawalaya means good night. You want to say good morning? Tawalakwa, good morning. Okay? Yahweh, once again, the Most High, the Lord's name. Boom. Yashamarka. Yeah, it's going to be keep and a prefix as well. Shamarka, keep, preserve, or watch. Shamarka definitely has watch in it, but you are preserving, meaning that you are keeping watch of something, which these words all fall in line with each other. All right? Makal. You have the ma, the ka, and the la. The ma is by itself, the ka and the la is together. Makal. Ma means from. Call means all. A-L-L, once again, the ra and the I, ra, which means evil. All right? A lot of people, when they think of evil, they think of the devil. Okay? They think of the devil. All right? And think of who the devil is in 2020. That is our oppressor. The one that's the president, the one that's working at your job, the one that, the faces that you see all throughout America, the one that owns all the money, the banks, all the buildings on downtown, the clubs, strip clubs, etc., etc. Ask yourself who is the true devil, because it's not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's for sure. Moving on. Yashamar. preserve. Ya and Shamar, preserve. Based on the context. Ah, all right? You, that's what ah means, A-H-T-H, ah, all right? That's also in that brilliance as well. Shalom, Yahweh, Shalom, Shabbat, Ba, Ah, Ba, Ah, Ba. So when you hear the ah part, that means you. We are not only saluting and greeting you, but also praying over you so that the Most High can watch over you in the name of Yahweh Shai. Here you go. All right, so the posture. The posture is soul, as in your actual soul in your body. Ka is thigh, so thy soul. Now, Yahweh, once again, the Most High, otherwise the Lord's name. Yashamar, Yashamar, once again, preserve. Select, preserve. I keep saying preserve, it's preserve. Sorry for that. Preserve, all right? Yashamar. So the Ka. So the is going out, Ka is thy going out. Now, might be hard to see. Wabawa, Ka. Sorry. Wabawa, Ka. All right? Ka is thy, Wabawa is coming. All right? My thought, which is time. Okay? You got the ma, the I, and the and her. All right? My which is time. What I. In and ever for. What I will learn evermore. I will learn. I will learn evermore. And that's pretty much the end of that. Okay, this is what time it is. One second. All right, so, yeah, so with that being said, this is the end of Psalms 121. Next week, we are actually going to jump into something very new, fairly new. And I want you guys to tune in next week, next Friday, as we get into something fairly new. And I'm very sure that you guys will actually appreciate it. All right? So with that being said, I want to say Shalom, Yahweh Shalom, Shabbat, to all the brothers, Shalom, Yahweh Shalom, to all the sisters, all right? With that being said, Shalom.